Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about a couple of different approaches to jelly printing, primarily being the one pull approach where you layer your paint all on the plate and then do one pull to pull it off, and also the printing by layers techniques, which I call the fast and the furious, where you're just printing one color at a time, one stencil at a time, and you don't really know what you're gonna get, but you just kind of, jump in and follow it, and you get some pretty cool things. So I think I'm gonna start with that one, and then I'll do the build-up of layers technique a little bit later, because that one involves a lot more waiting and patience, and right now I just really want to get going. So let's go. So I got my wet wipes, I've got some paint, I've got my brayer, roll-off papers. Let's just jump right in. I'm going to start with some yellow. So in this method, I'm just going to kind of go fast and furious and kind of just respond to what's on the plate. So I don't really know what I'm going to get out of this, and that's totally okay. So let's start by maybe taking some texture. So with this method, I tend to just use one, I use one color paint or do one pull. I don't think too much about it. I just kind of jump in. I'm not building an image yet. I'm just kind of making some layers to start with. So that's a good start. That'll make a nice background. I'll put that over here. And let's maybe pick another color. I'm going to go with the magenta this time. Alright, I think this time I'm going to use a stencil. I'm going to go with this guy. So we're going to put it down, and I'll put the paper back on top. And we'll see. The way the colors mix will be interesting. That's part of the fun of it, is you never really know what you're gonna get. All right, so there we go. That's a good start. I'm gonna pick this up on another piece of paper, I think. It's also really useful to have prints from earlier sessions hanging around, because sometimes you just need something to pick something up. And putting an image like this on a white page is just like, it works, but it's not that interesting. So there's one. All right, I'm gonna go with blue. This one, I think I want to pick up the ghost print, not the initial print. And we'll just roll that out, because this is an opaque blue, and that means it's gonna block out everything underneath it. So I only want to use this in sections. So I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to use some daily paper. Just pick up all that extra paint. The nice thing about deli paper is you can actually see right through it, so you can see exactly where you need more pressure and more attention. All right, that looks good. Let's pull it up. So this will be great for collage, overlaid over something else. That'd be a lot of fun. And then we have the image underneath there, and I'm just gonna pop that on here. So often when I do this technique, I have, a whole stack of papers on the go. It's rare that I actually use one paper the whole way through. So there we go. We got a bit of a pattern. It's a little bit busy, so I'm gonna use some different color, maybe to kind of block some things out a little bit. Maybe we'll use the black and a stencil of some kind. Let's go with the diamonds. The diamonds are always fun. Okay, black. I'm going to use the black, and I'm going to use the diamonds, and we're going to see what happens here. Not too much. Oops, I got some white in there. Oh well, just smear it in. So this is a different brand of black that I use. It's Mars black. I just like it better than the Liquitex. The Liquitex never seems to cover very much. Maybe I'm not using the right black, but this one just, it's kind of a dream. It's like charcoaly. I call it Mars black, but it's super nice, opaque, solid color. So it's really good for prints like this where you're going to do like a pop of color coming through the background. So I'm kind of just making a nice little composition with these. Let's go like that. And I got two more. Let's put this guy over here maybe. And that one. Okay. Flip it, stick it. Rub it in. Okay, let's see what we got. Moment of truth. Woo! All right, not the most gorgeous print I've ever made, but that's totally okay. You can see how doing the Fast and Furious makes some fun layers and makes some fun like textures and patterns that maybe you wouldn't get otherwise. So I like those. They're happy accidents that make me happy. So okay, so I just kind of showed you the Fast and the Furious. Now I want to show you the slow technique of kind of building up layers, letting them dry in between. Yeah, so let's start by putting something basic on the plate. I think I want to use these diamond stencils that I used in the last one. Let's see, I've got a cutout stencil, and then I've got like a plain mask, so that I can use that to block out some spaces. So I'm just going to jump right in. Let's see how this goes. Put some black on the plate. I'm just going to try to get some of the lines of the diamonds in there in the black. So nice even coating. Okay. You put my stencils in an aesthetic arrangement. Let's just go like this. Take that one, put this one. And we'll just add this one up here. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of something transparent, or close to transparent, because I think that this first print where I pull off the excess ink will look really great as a collage piece over top of something else. So I'm just going to take it off this way. And the cool thing about using this deli paper is that you can actually see right through it, so I can tell exactly where I need more attention, where I'm getting, you know, not collecting all the ink or the paint. I call them ink and paint interchangeably, but I'm almost always using acrylic paint. So, okay, so pulling that up, see, that'll be fun over something else. So we'll save that for later. Okay, take the stencils off. Take the stencils off. I'm going to help it dry a little bit. To do that, I have a handy, fancy dandy technique. I'm just going to kind of fan it with a piece of paper. Because the layers are generally very thin, it doesn't usually take too much for it to dry. So that's pretty much dry already. You can kind of test it with a finger, but don't press too hard because you might just pick up the ink that you paint that you just put down. Okay, so I'm going to put some of these masks on so that we can build up the background, because I don't want to disturb this while I build up the background. So I'm going to leave the diamonds parts white. But in order to do that, I need to mask them off. Okay, putting that in the right place. I'm trying to make sure that I have the right orientation, because you see they're not that much different this way or that way, except when I'm actually trying to put them down. If I put it down over here, you can see that's not big enough. So Just gonna try and make sure they're the right way around. This one, yep. And one more. Wrong side. There we go, I found it. So this one goes this way. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna use my other gel plate to mix some paint on. We're gonna go with okay, white paint. That's just because I opened a new container. We're gonna put some blue in there. All right, palette knife and maybe makeup sponge. Okay, and I'm gonna use a stencil to just add some textures. So you want to hold the stencil down so it doesn't move too much. And I'm only going to worry about the areas that are not under the masks because it just doesn't make any sense to put the paint over the masks. You kind of want a nice, even, thin coat because the thicker the paint, the longer it will take to dry, and this technique has a lot of weighting. So, okay, so there's that part. Let's do over here maybe. This is one of my own stencil designs. If you're interested, you can find it in my coffee shop. I have digital download SVG files, so if you have a cutting machine, you can just, you know, load it up in your software and cut it right out yourself. And that way you can decide on the size and everything to material. I'll put a link in the description. Okay. That's good. We got a little bit more over here. Okay, all covered. So let's let that dry. Makeup sponge goes right into my water bucket. And my secret trick for drying things is to use a piece of paper as a fan. So just gonna try and dry it out. Okay. All right, so I think I'm gonna use the teal. I'm gonna actually make a new color. I'm gonna go with teal and this darker blue, I think. Or maybe we'll use a little bit of Payne's Gray in there. Make a darker color. So we're gonna move that. Oh, I need some more of this. It's getting a little thin. Okay. And I'm going to use my palette knife, mix it up. Oh, yeah. I think I need a little bit of blue in there, though. Okay, so this is going to be my background color. So I'm just going to put a little bit on and use my brayer to spread it around in a really thin layer. Okay, I don't want to smear, I want to roll, because if I smear, I will mess up all the fancy design I just stenciled in there. Okay, so a nice thin layer. Take off any excess. So to do that, I'm just rolling on another piece of paper. Get rid of a little bit of that extra paint. And then I'm going to take my masks off. Now, I did this in a way that actually makes things quite a bit easier. When the mask goes above the edge of the gel plate, it's easier to take off. If it's not, you can get it, but I'd use something like a palette knife or something that you can kind of just pick under the mask to, you know, to pick it up, unless you have really sharp fingernails, but I don't. So okay, so I'm pulling these off. I'll set them aside to dry, not on top of each other because then they'll stick. Take that one too. Okay, and now I'm going to let the whole thing dry. So I'm going to use my fancy drying machine. Okay, let's go. See how this goes. So nice thin layer. I'm hoping that'll give me a little bit of sparkle, but not too much. And I'm just gonna spread it around. Nice, even, thin coat. So this is to pull the print. So I'm covering the whole plate. I think I have a little too much on there, so I'm gonna roll off a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and now paper. So I'm gonna put the paper on. Let it sit for a minute. And in the meantime, I'm gonna make sure that I have enough of this yellow paint, because I like it, but I think I'm gonna run out, so I'm gonna make a little bit more. Try not to get the crusty white stuff because that's not fun. Okay, I think we're probably good. Oh, still feels cool, so I'm gonna give it a minute. If your paper feels cool, it means the paint isn't dry enough to pull yet. It doesn't really take long, but if you pull it before it's ready, it'll leave all the dried paint back on the plate, and you wanna pull it all up with a pickup print. Yeah, you can kind of check. But we'll just give it a minute. I'm excited about this. I think that'll be a lot of fun. The little thing, sparkle. Okay, let's see what we got. Nope, not yet. This is also why thin layers are very important, because the thinner the layer, the faster it will dry. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit grungy, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, so there's our print. Looking good. You can see the texture of the stencil. You can see a little bit of shine from the iridescent white. And the final thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this and give it a little sparkle. Too much paint. Trying to get a nice, even, thin coat. Where do I want to put this? Let's put this one right here. Ding. And another one, maybe here. Sparkle shine. I'm gonna put this one right here. And I don't think that one needs one, but this one I think should. Let's kind of put that one on the edge here. Ding! All right, done. That's my diamond print. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye!